we are announcing today a firearms working group. Issues about firearms often have regional rather than partisan splits, and your perspective as to where you come from in the state often has an influence on how you look at these issues. Our goal as a working group is to make sure that no matter what perspective you arrive at this issue with, you are able to understand the perspective of the other side or multiple sides on this issue. We aren't out to craft a bill. We are out to have a better discussion about bills that may be going through the legislative process, with particular attention to one that we currently have a court deadline on to pass in the state of Illinois, and we'll be following that as the court process continues. It's almost trite to have firearms at a press conference about firearms, but the point that I want to make today is that as a state leader, I don't know that I could pass a test identifying with specificity what each one of these firearms is, and I think I ought to be able to do that. We are not targeting putting out a report. We're not targeting putting out a bill. We're targeting making the legislative process an effective one. We're targeting making sure that people from different perspectives understand those other perspectives. One of the things I'd like to do is to be able to get us all to a point where we don't use any words that in a way that wasn't intended get some people on the other side to tune out.
Scott Drury, State Representative. The issue of concealed carry during the election was a very big issue in our race. Obviously, a lot has changed since November, when the Seventh Circuit stated that it was unconstitutional to prohibit concealed carry across the board. Public support is behind limitations and sensible restrictions on people carrying concealed weapons. That's where the public is at. We cannot let the voice of a few people outshine the voice of a majority, and I think that's the benefit of what the Lieutenant Governor is doing here, is taking a cross-section of the state and putting us all together to bring our collective views together and find out where people really are at.
The biggest issue we have in my campaign is it was actually on the ballot for concealed carry in all 4 counties that I represent, and it passed overwhelmingly. But the reason why I'm here today is to make sure that whatever law comes into effect is actually done responsibly. I'm here as an advocate of the Second Amendment, but also knowing that we need to have some type of a restriction on it to ensure that these types of weapons do not fall into the hands of folks that shouldn't be having them.